Hello, welcome back. Today we are going to solve simple problems using strings. The first problem is to find the length of the string without using the inbuilt strlen function. This is my example where I have used a character array called str which can store a maximum of 10 letters. I use an accumulator variable I which is initialized to 0. I get the string using the getS function. I say getS of str. I use a while loop. Inside the while loop, I check str of I not equal to null. So until str of I not equal to null, I am incrementing I. Coming out of the loop, I print the length of the string which is I. So for example, if my string is hello, the while loop is traced as follows. Str of 0 is not equal to null. Yes. So I gets incremented by 1. Again, str of 1 is not equal to 0. So str of 0 is h. Str of 1 is e. I becomes 2. Str of 2 again not equal to 0 which is l. So I becomes 3. Str of 3 which is again l is not equal to null. So I becomes 4. Str of 5 which is 0 which is o not equal to null. So I becomes 5. Str of 5, yes, which is equal to null, so loop ends. The length of the string is printed as 5. So this is how you find the length of the string without using the inbuilt strlen string handling function. Number 2 is to reverse a string. So we will try to reverse a string without using strrev, string reverse inbuilt function. So this is my example. So I use again a character array, str of 10. My I and len are integer variables. I input the string using getS. Then I find the length of the string using strlen. And this is the core part of the logic. Look at the for loop. For I equal to len minus 1, I greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. Inside the for loop, I print str of I. So let us break down and understand this in simpler terms. So for example, my str holds hello. So str of 0 will hold h, str of 1 is equal to e, str of 2 is l, str of 3 is l, str of 4 is 0, and the length of the string is 5. Coming to the for loop. So the for loop says for I equal to len minus 1, length is 5. So 5 minus 1 is 4. Yes, I is equal to 4. 4 is greater than or equal to 0. Yes, true. So print str of I. Str of 4, which is O, is printed. I gets decremented by 1, so I becomes 3. Yes, I is equal to 3. 3 is still greater than or equal to 0, so print str of 3, L is printed. I becomes 2. 2 is greater than or equal to 0, so printf str of 2, L is printed. I gets decremented by 1. Yes, 1 is still greater than or equal to 0. Printf str of 1, which is e. I is decremented by 1, so I becomes 0. 0 is yes, greater than or equal to 0. Printf str of 0, which is h. I becomes minus 1 and the loop ends. So it is printed in reverse order. OLLEH. So this is how you reverse a string without using strrev. Moving on, this is a very important example to check whether a string is palindrome or not. So I have my string called str. I have 3 accumulator variables I, length and flag. I and length are initialized to 0 and flag is initialized to 1. I get the string, okay. I use the for loop to find the length of the string. Again, I use the while loop to find the length of the string. Again, I run a for loop. The for loop states this. This is a very important core part of the program. I equal to 0, I less than length divided by 2, I plus plus. So inside the for loop, what I do? I check whether if str of I is not equal to str of length minus I minus 1. That is, the first letter is checked with the last letter. So what is a palindrome? Madam is a palindrome. M-A-D-A-M. In the reverse order, it reads M-A-D-A-M. So you need to check the first and the last, the second and the last minus 1. So you keep on checking and find that whether the string is palindrome or not. So that is the core part of the for loop. So after checking, flag is set to 0 and we are breaking the loop. If flag is true, then it is a palindrome, else it is not a palindrome. So let us look into the example to understand better. I take str as level, L-E-V-E-L, which is a palindrome, right? Okay. So get into the for loop. I equal to 0, right? 0 is less than 5 minus 5 divided by 2, true. The condition is true. So str of 0 is equal to str of 4 is checked. Yes, they are equal. L is equal to L. So I gets incremented by 1. I becomes 1 and 1 is still less than 5 by 2. Yes. str of 1 is checked with str of 3. So what is str of 1? It is E. str of 3 it is again E. Fine. They are equal. I is incremented by 1. I becomes 2. 2 is still less than 5 divided by 2. So str of 2 is equal to str of 2. Yeah, I plus plus. I becomes 3 and the loop breaks. So the flag is true. So it is a palindrome string. So the core part of the logic is this, where I is less than length of the string divided by 2, and inside the for loop you need to check the first and the last, second and the last minus 1, third and the last minus 3, and etc. until you find whether it is a palindrome or not a palindrome. Number 4 is we are going to count the number of vowels and consonants in a string, which is a very classic example of string functions in C. Again, I use a character array str, which can hold maximum of 100 characters. My accumulator variables here are I, vowels and consonants, all initialized to 0. I get my string using fgetS. You all know that fgetS takes 3 arguments: the string, the size of the string, and the standard input from the keyboard. That's the third parameter. I use a while loop to check whether it is vowel or consonant. How do I do that? I use while to check str of I is not equal to 0. Inside the while I check if str of I is equal to A-E-I-O-U. Right? So if it is A-E-I-O-U in small case as well as in caps, the vowels accumulator variable gets incremented, else the consonants variable gets incremented. Done? Okay. Now after which the while loop ends, I'm printing the number of vowels and consonants. So this is a very classical example of finding the count of vowels and consonants in a string. So we have seen 4 simple examples. Any doubts, post it in the comment section. I'll be happy to help you. Thank you. Happy learning.